to present the budget on Wednesday, which was unsuccessful due to being denied entry into the assembly premises. He said that despite prior delivery of a soft copy notice and effort to submit a hard copy through the clerk, he and his entourage were locked out. The governor emphasized that his attempt was in compliance with a Supreme Court judgment, which he noted had also mandated the assembly to carry out its functions within constitutional boundaries. He reminded the lawmakers that the Supreme judgment directed all arms of government to exercise their powers and perform their duties within the ambit of the Constitution. Governor Fubara said no matter the depth of their differences, the interests of the state and its people should take priority over political conflict. Recall that an attempt by the governor to present the budget on Wednesday was not successful as he was locked out of the assembly quarters venue of the city. The governor said he communicated to the speaker and other assembly members but received no response. But the Assembly Committee Chairman on Information, Enemy George, disputed the governor's position, insisting that no such communication was received, despite the viral video evidence of the letter, a WhatsApp message sent to the lawmakers. Now, on Thursday, while commissioning the remodeled Okrika Grammar School, Governor Fubara called for peace in the state.
It's important at this stage that we all embrace peace. The Supreme Court has made its judgment. We don't have any option but to abide by it. And by the special grace of God, we have started the process. We are appealing to other parties to consider the interests of Rivers State. It's important. The only thing that we owe this state is peace and development. I am open any day, anytime for total peace in our state.
The church to take responsibility for protecting the school's facilities.
Church here, school, not anymore. What government is today is to complement whether you can provide it this school. Do it without say your power, do objection and encroachment. I will send and have to look at it and we'll see what we can do about it.
In the meantime, the Rivers State government has put off the commissioning of project at the Nigerian Law School, Yenagoa campus. The event was supposed to happen today, but a public notice says it's now postponed. The government hasn't given a reason for the delay, but says it regrets any inconvenience. A new date will be announced later. Now, lawyers are weighing in after the Rivers State House of Assembly asked the Department of State Services, DSS, to investigate the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Simeon Amadi, over alleged age falsification. The Assembly made the request during a plenary on Thursday after the report findings, but no one agrees. Fed would argue an appeal court ruling prohibits law enforcement agencies, including the DSS, from investigating judges without approval from the National Judicial Council (NJC). It tells our correspondent that the Assembly should have taken the matter to the NJC instead.
The law is that before you can do anything concerning the probing of judges, concerning anything pertaining to their conduct or any allegation of corruption, you must have to seek permission and leave of the National Judicial Council. So what the Rivers State House of Assembly ought to have done was to have written to the National Judicial Council, stating their allegations and their suspicions on maybe some of the dealings of the Chief Judge of Rivers State when they find corruption in that manner, not directly to write the DSSS and expect the DSSS to move on the Chief Judge. It's not done like that.
Mr. Wuche explains how the order was obtained.
Constitutional positions must be followed when you are dealing with issues pertaining to and relating to the judiciary, judicature. The DSS know very well, they are quite familiar with the position of the law, that they cannot directly go and begin to make any probe concerning a judge. Talk more of the chief judge, the Constitution disallows it for first of all seek the permission and leave of the National Judicial Council.
Now, public affairs commentator and journalist Olaleko Ige shares a similar view. Speaking on Nigerian Info FM's Hard Facts, Mr. Ige calls for peace among political actors in the state, adding that instability could hurt economic growth.
The GDP of Lagos is now at 292 billion US dollars. So what is the GDP of Rivers State today? The instability will probably want to give an investor a second thought to say, look, why will I come the way of Rivers State? All of us reside in this state. The prosperity of Rivers State is the prosperity of all of us. And the best we can do is just to ensure that, look, we should expand the frontiers of what Rivers has at the moment.
But not everyone sees it that way. Another lawyer, Chimene Mwodi, speaks on this.
If the Chief Justice of a state does not reflect what he said, just what qualifies him? If the Chief Justice has committed an offense, of course, he should go in for it. By virtue of Section 1, Sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution, the law is sacrosanct and absolutely clear. That is the Chief Justice of the state doesn't make him Alpha and Omega. No. For God's sake, has the Chief Judge committed an offense? If he has committed an offense, let him go in for it. After all, he has been sentencing people. The DSS have every right to investigate him. And by virtue of every section of the Police Act and the police authority, they have every right to investigate anybody whatsoever. If a man has committed an offense, it does not matter whether he belongs to any political party.
Well, in another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released the updated register of voters in Rivers State. INEC also released the list of registered political parties in Nigeria ahead of the forthcoming local government council elections. In a letter dated March 13 and signed by the Administrative Secretary, Odo Polium Emezurike, INEC formally notified the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission (RISEC) of the release. The letter addressed to the RISEC chairman confirmed that a soft copy of the voters' register had been provided in response to the commission's request. Meanwhile, RISEC issued a press release announcing the receipt of the updated register from INEC headquarters. The release, signed by the Commissioner in charge of Media and Civic Education, Tamono Tonye Tobins, reassures stakeholders and the public of RISEC's commitment to conducting free, fair, and credible elections. The elections are scheduled to take place on August 9. The list of registered political parties released by INEC include parties such as the APC, PDP, Action People's Party, APP, Labour Party, as well as 15 others. In the meantime, the chairman of Zenith Labour Party, Ben Obobula, says his party is determined to participate in the August 9th local government election in Rivers State. Mr. Obobula said this to correspondent Sebi Oruware. He expressed support to RISEC's move to conduct the local government election.
The election we hold, RISEC have called us, they have given us timetable, and maybe by next tomorrow I'll have to send my expression of interest to the RISEC, informing them that my party is ready to participate in that local government election. So we must ensure that local government election, the local government council and councillors are put in place. And what is happening in the state, we believe that God will take control. That there will be a local government election come 9 August 2025, and I'm sure there will be peace in Rivers State. We believe that there will be peace in Rivers State and there will be local government election.
On her part, Hilda Dokubo of the Labour Party said her party is in support of the conduct of the local government election.
Rivers State Labour Party is ready to do everything that maintains the peace within the state. We want our state to develop. We want our state to have peace. So if this will bring peace and make everybody comfortable, why not? Let's go ahead and get it done. After all, we did it before. We can do it again. So for me, it's more important that we ensure that nobody throws our state into any kind of rank.
Now, she also disagrees that Governor Fubara violated the peace agreement initiated by President Tinubu.
We all know what pressures we have been facing in Rivers State. We all know the kinds of pressures that this state has been under. If we're listening to it in 2025 and we express any kind of shock, then we're not sure we know what we're doing. What has he said? That why would he go away from this? He should go and do this. Did he ever go away from anything? Pikin we no say in papa enemy na enemy that pikin no guessing.
Still to come, INC asks President Tinubu to caution FCT minister over comments on Ajo. Stay Stay with us.
With total submission to God, we announce the transition unto glory of our beloved daughter,
Yeah, welcome back, and now the rest of the news. The Ijaw National Congress has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to call the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to order over his comment on the Ijaw. The INC was reacting to alleged comments credited to the FCT Minister in which he said the Ijaw people were a minority of minorities in Rivers and other South-South states except Bayelsa State. In a statement in Abuja today, the National Publicity Secretary, INC Ezunebi Oyakeme Abwega said that the Congress has taken note of the FCT minister's remarks. It said the Ijaws will maintain peace and stability, but called on President Tinubu to caution the FCT minister and redirect his focus to his ministerial duties. Moving on, the presidency has criticized former President Olusegun Obasanjo for his scathing remarks on President Bola Tinubu's administration, warning it may surpass Muhammadu Buhari's government in corruption and misgovernance. In his new book, Nigeria, Past and Future, Obasanjo labeled Buhari's tenure as the worst in Nigeria's democratic history and accused Tinubu of continuing a culture of waste and corruption. He specifically condemned the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project and the 21 billion naira vice president's official residence as extravagant expenditures. Now, Obasanjo also alleged that corruption flourished under Buhari with the support of former Attorney General Abubakar Malami. The presidency has dismissed Obasanjo's criticisms, defending its policies and governance approach. In other news, Senator Jimo Ibrahim, chairman of the Senate Interparliamentary Committee, has dismissed Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduaghan's petition to the Interparliamentary Union (IPU) as dead on arrival. Senator Natasha, who was suspended on March 6 after a dispute with Senate leadership, alleged political victimization and took her case to the United Nations Forum, accusing Senate President Godswill Akpabio of misconduct. Speaking at the Women in Parliament session, she called for international intervention But Ibrahim argued that she lacks the authority to petition the IPU since only member states, not individuals, can file complaints. He emphasized that Nigeria, not Akpoti Uduaghan, is the recognized IPU member and that she had no official authorization to represent the country at the event. In a similar development, Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan has filed a contempt suit against Senate President Godswill Akpabio and others over her 6-month suspension without pay. The suit filed before the Federal High Court in Abuja also names the Clerk of the National Assembly and Senator Neda Emasue, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Code of Conduct. Justice Obiora Egwatu earlier restrained the Senate from proceeding with any investigation against Senator Akpoti Uduaghan pending further court rulings. Now, elsewhere, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has expressed deep sorrow over the death of a 2-year-old girl crushed by a commercial bus during a clash between its driver and Edo PSR operatives in Benin City. In a statement on Thursday, he vowed a review of the PSR's operations to prevent such tragedies, stressing that government agencies must protect, not endanger lives. The incident occurred when PSR officers allegedly tried to seize a moving vehicle steering, causing the driver to lose control and crash into a POS kiosk, killing the child instantly. Outraged residents attacked the officers before taking them and the child's body to a police station. Human rights activist Kola Edubaye condemned the PSR's enforcement method, urging better training. And now straight to business. President Bola Tinubu says the primary motive behind his administration's economic reforms was to protect the interest of future generations. The president said this at the State House in Abuja while receiving a delegation of former National Assembly colleagues from the aborted Third Republic, during which he served as a senator representing Lagos West. He said firm adherence to democratic tenets is the best route to economic, social, and political development. He expressed appreciation to Nigerians for their collective support in turning things around. In entertainment, singer Davido has released a new single titled Be There Still. The single released today features up-tempo amapiano log drum fusion and a blend of pidgin and English. And now in sports, Aston Villa forward Marcus Rashford has been named in England manager Thomas Tuchel's first squad. Newcastle defender Dan Burn and Arsenal's Miles Lewis-Kelly are in line for debuts after receiving their first call-up.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Russia says there are grounds for optimism over a ceasefire deal with Ukraine, but there is a lot ahead to be done. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov reiterates that President Vladimir Putin still needs answers after the Russian president raised several questions about how a U.S. brokered truce would work. The Kremlin confirmed that U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff met with President Putin on Thursday and is now on his way back to the U.S. with information to pass to President Donald Trump. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said President Putin's response was manipulative and called for more sanctions on Russia to force a deal.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Governor Fubara has written to the Rivers State House of Assembly again over the 2025 budget. INEC has released the updated voters register and a list of Rivers political parties ahead of local government elections. INC asks President Tinubu to caution FCT minister over comment on Ijo. President Tinubu says reforms saved Nigeria from bankruptcy. On the foreign scene, Russian president sets out conditions for Ukraine ceasefire. The news was edited by Martha Okere. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Moyele. Many thanks for listening.